evening, everyone. Welcome to eNASCAR Heat Pro League round number 2 from sunny California. It's Auto Club Speedway. I'm Chris Wilner alongside Hannah Newhouse. Hannah, I tell you what, before we get into this week, it was all about the hype of round number 1 in Charlotte. We had an amazing time out at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and Penske Racing certainly came to play and proved that they're the ones to beat right now.
It was an awesome situation. All the drivers got to come out here, meet the bosses, meet their teammates, meet the other drivers, and form that rapport. We saw a lot of great racing action in both the races, but what a great opportunity for all of these drivers to get to know each other and get that first race under their belts at Charlotte and on location. And Xbox, definitely an interesting race there. Lots of banging and beating action on the racetrack. You can see there the drivers got the chance to race up on the stage.
Yeah, they got the star treatment. Crowd was cheering them on as they hit the first green flag of the regular season, and right off the bat we saw caution after caution. These guys certainly getting after it here early.
No doubt about that. You can see lots of carnage. There was some tough breaks for a lot of those drivers. Might set us up for an interesting race night at Auto Club. Lots of communication between those drivers on the stage, though. Maybe a little frustration between some of them.
I was going to say certainly not a lot of pleasantries between some of these competitors. Kurt Busch, your overall #1 pick, took the lead briefly, and then half the field gets collected in a wreck. Certainly not the way he wanted to start his 2019 campaign.
You see that car airborne there. Kurt Busch definitely set us up for an interesting finish here as you see some battling for that front position. A late race caution there comes out as we see Shell V-Power, who goes on to take the win there in the Xbox.
Dohard made a great move at the end, but it was Shell getting the victory in the first eNASCAR Heat Pro League race for Xbox. And here's a look at your results with Shell getting the win for Penske, Dohar getting second, and how about Mr. Track Bar? Good solid podium finish.
Yeah, Diego rounding out the 4th, and SHG Slick your top 5 there. Lots of racing action there in that Xbox race. I think it's going to set us up for a pretty interesting race tonight at Auto Club, but what an opportunity for all of these drivers.
Oh, they were through the moon just in terms of the star treatment they got and everyone cheering for them, and it's only going to carry on here through the regular season.
No doubt about that. Great race in Charlotte, and only more excitement tonight here at Auto Club.
Well, Hannah, a guy who was pretty happy after Charlotte is this fella, Diego. A top 5 for him at Charlotte, and it was an incredible race. We're going to talk to him here as he joins us here on the pre-race show. Diego, how's it going, buddy, and what was your overall takeaway from Charlotte? Because it looked like you had a lot of fun out there.
Yeah, it was a blast. There was so many unexpected surprises that happened. One of the biggest things being getting to go on stage, NASCAR Trackside Live, with my boss man, Keen Richard, and Dale Inman. So a lot of fun, amazing experience. Just can't say enough to RPM and you guys at 704 NASCAR for making all of this happen.
And not a lot of race fans get to meet the king, but you get to call him the boss man. And another interesting story was you had a little bit of a different way of getting to Charlotte for that race. You actually drove out here for the first race, 2,900 and something miles. What was that drive like?
Fun. I've done it before. I enjoy road trips. I tried killing like 25 different birds with this one stone of a trip. Visited family, friends. I do a bunch of photography, so I went out and shot the NASCAR Canyon West race in Tucson, and I'm still here in Charlotte for a couple more weeks, so I'm enjoying my stay out here on the East Coast.
That's pretty awesome, and we give you a lot of props for definitely completing the road trip. Safe travels back, my friend, and we look forward to tonight's racing.
Cool. Thank you, guys.
Well, I was a little concerned there when he said killing 25 birds. He was serious, but he got a pretty good little bucket list there. Let's take a look at the starting order here in the Xbox One race. Mr. Track Bar leading the field to green over HD Motorsports. SHG Slick, your top 3 here.
Go Fast Matt is a guy I'd like to keep my eye on, as well as Moordog, who had a great run going until a late caution last week. We'll see if he can get that number 5 to the front.
No doubt about that. Taking a look at that PlayStation race as well, though, from this past weekend in Charlotte. Quite interesting.
It was a lot of fun, and these guys also getting after it as well. A lot of heated tempers as we had some pretty good introductions going on up on stage. Some dancing, we had some Coca-Cola chugging. We had it all this weekend as really the talk of the town has been Slade, your #1 overall pick, going from 4th to 1st in 2 corners.
Like you said, 2 corners there. He dominated the race all night long, but it wasn't without action behind him in the back of the pack. A little bit of frustration between the drivers. Tough night for Stuart Haas there. You see the carnage as that driver goes around, but Slade managed to keep himself out front the entire race.
He did, driving through the rearview mirror as other drivers would beat and bang and tangle. The Bear getting upset at a few guys as the finish really came down here to an overtime with a late race caution, the first overtime in the eNASCAR Heat Pro League. And once again, you saw the nerves, but he held it cool and Slade taking the victory. How about that?
For being only recently 17, what a way to keep his head on his shoulders. He showed that age doesn't matter in this eNASCAR Heat Pro League as he captured that win over the Bear. We'll see him get maybe competitive. Maybe he's wanting that win tonight. Auto Club, I heard Auto Club, Pennzoil in third place, and Kyle Arnold rounding out your top four. I think we're going to see a great race with them as well. Slade's going to be hard to beat this season, though.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'd like to see some guys coming from the back. We saw the Bear. He's good on mile-and-a-half. These speedways be something to look at. But right now, you know, it's anybody's game as we go on to the regular season.
And we saw it there in that PlayStation race. A great race for Slade, collecting that win for the Wood brothers in that 21 spin car. The young driver starts the season off with a win, and we're going to be joined by him now. Slade, first off, congratulations on that big win in Charlotte. And I have to ask you, I know there was talks about if you won, your boss man, John Wood, was going to buy you one of those spin scooters. Did he follow through?
Yes, he has. I haven't gotten it yet, but it is on order. Very excited about that. I had a lot of fun with them in Charlotte, so I'm very excited.
Yeah, it looked like you had a lot of fun, not only picking up the win, too, but you also celebrated a birthday going into the big weekend. So talk about being 17 years old, and now at least you got a scooter to run around in, although you can't really drive a car just yet.
No, can't yet, no.
What was that? Talk about that big win for you as well, because you not only won the pole, but or you passed the cars basically two turns into the race to take the lead. You won the pole tonight. How do you keep that momentum going here to go 2 for 2?
We just gotta kind of keep the car clean today. Auto Club is a track provides a lot of racing, throughout pack racing, throughout all 14 cars, and we just gotta keep it clean and keep our nose clean and just have a good race. Just being smart. It's probably the biggest things that's going to keep your car clean today. Don't want to make any stupid moves early. Got the comp yellow with 23 to go. So I'm just going to kind of take it easy. Starting P5, we're going to try to just keep it calm and collective first half of the race. And then the second half, we're going to try and go 2 for 2 in these first 2 races for Wood Bros Gaming and for Spin Scooters.
Well, you're off to a pretty good start so far with that win in Charlotte. Well, good luck tonight, Slade, at Auto Club.
Thank you.
All right, so here's how they'll roll to green here at Auto Club Speedway. Pennzoil, your pole sitter this week after a third-place finish at Charlotte. He'll be one to watch for Penske Racing. How about Rowdy? And then there is last week's winner at Slade, starting in the 5th position here tonight.
Fast fed in that second outside row there, but that sets us up for a pretty interesting lineup here. You said Pennzoil there, leading the field to green. We saw a win for Penske last week. They've got these points lead early on in the season coming out of Charlotte, so they're in a pretty good setting position tonight at Auto Club.
Yeah, and if you're new to this, just like we are, here's how the point system breaks down as we go through the regular season. Individual race results, it's kind of more for bragging rights because everything comes down to your team. You want to win, you want to do well, and each team's combined points from the night will determine who gets to obviously move on. But in this case, Penske winning Charlotte with a 3rd and a 1st place finish, they lock themselves into the postseason.
So all these drivers love to get that little checkered flag next to their name for each of these individual race wins. It all comes down to working together with Xbox and PS4. You see Team Penske here currently leading the points effort over Wood Brothers Gaming and Junior Motorsports.
Tied at the top, but we still got a long way to go here as we get ready for Auto Club Speedway.
Overall, great weekend for Team Penske, getting that win, taking the points lead. That sets them up for a great opportunity tonight to capitalize on that. Great bump here. You guys off to see both the drivers for Team Penske, but we're going to be joined by the winner this past weekend, Tedeschi, as we get him online. Hey, how's it going, Shelby Power? You got that win in Charlotte. First off, congratulations. How does it feel to start the season on top?
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, our number 22 Shell V-Power Natural Plus Ford Mustang was really good throughout the whole weekend. It was really good to get a good start to Charlotte and after a wild race, get the win.
Yeah, we saw the emotion on your face after you crossed the finish line as we take a look at your highlights here. What was that moment like when you realized not only did you win, but you were the first winner in this regular season of the inaugural season? What was that like for you?
It was a really amazing feeling. I've seen all the emotions after we got that late restart. I thought I knew Tyler was going to be really strong, and so was Josh, and there's going to be a lot of strong cars, so it was just to hold them all off was an amazing feeling.
Now, the point system for the whole season, as you guys know, plays off both the Xbox and PlayStation players. Team Penske is on top, but how hard is it going to be to stay on top all season?
That's going to be pretty tough. There's a lot of strong teams in this league and a lot of strong drivers as well. So I think myself and Corey, we got a really good, have a really good Auto Club car, so I think we're going to have a really strong week again this week.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Shell V Power. Again, congratulations on your win, and good luck tonight at Auto Club.
Yep, thank you very much.
That's the sound of a confident driver, and certainly Team Penske is going to be the ones to watch. But you know what? It's a whole nother week, Hannah. Throw Charlotte out the window. We're here at Auto Club Speedway. It's fast and it's wide, and how's that going to play into some of these drivers here tonight? With
those wide sweeping corners, I think we're going to see a lot of racing action side by side. And, I mean, while it's the second race of the season, I think a lot of these drivers still have that angst to really make a mark early on in the season and get ahead of the points. You see the race rundown here, 45 laps total in length, plus that one pace lap. Our pit window being 11 to 13 laps, making these drivers have to pit at least a couple times, 4 times the wear, and full damage. Sets us up for some great racing tonight at Auto Club.
Yeah, if you're new to this as well, that 4 times damage or 4 times wear and the full damage, that's going to play havoc, especially if these drivers get into the wall or run their cars very hard. So you'll have to see how they pace themselves here tonight at Auto Club Speedway as we get set to go. Hannah, let me tell you, we talk about picks every week, and Garbage last week was a driver that nearly had it done before a late race caution. Who are you keeping your eye on here?
I don't know. We saw your guesses so far in the preseason weren't very good,
No.
so I feel like my chances are good. I'm going to choose the obvious pick here and maybe go with Go Fast Racing here on that second row, Fast Fed on the outside row. You look at the lineup once again, Pennzoil leading the field to green, Fast Fed your front row, Rowdy and Fluffy in the second row, Slade fifth, and the Bear your top 6 as your top 3 rows there. So Fast Fed, there you have it. That is my pick tonight for the PS4.
All right. We're getting ready to go as the cars have hit the track for their first pace lap as we get ready to go 1 to green. If we talk about picks again, Hannah, I'm going to have to look at Slade because, I mean, he is fast. He won last week. He starts up front here this week, and he got a scooter, as we saw in his interview. So he should be scooting his way to the front here tonight.
I like the plug there. I like the plug. Hey, Slade, we'll have to ask you a little bit later about getting us up here in the booth hooked up with some scooters.
Brother.
We got this figured out. But, no, I think Slade's a great pick. He may be the young driver of the field, but he seemed to keep his cool, show that he has what it takes to be consistent here. And I think consistency is what it's going to take, but we've talked about how while the finishes tonight matter, it also matters for their teammates in the Xbox. So you're hoping and you're crossing your fingers as a driver that if you put on a good performance tonight, your teammate's also going to follow it up in the Xbox.
Absolutely. These guys were out on stage in front of a loud and raucous crowd at Charlotte Motor Speedway. They're back in their comfy confines of their race simulators and setups at their own places of residence. And let me tell you, though, the intensity's still going to be there as these guys jockey for position. One final note I'd like to pay attention to is Go Fast Matt there on the outside of the front row. He's very fast in terms of starting up front, but he hasn't put a full race together. Could this be the day that he takes that car into victory lane?
I think it'd be a good opportunity for him to set this up now. Like we said, it's early on in the season, only race 2 of 12. So if he could get that put together, we want to see that momentum continue throughout the rest of the season, although we switch things up going to Bristol next week or 2 weeks from now with a short track. So hopefully he can carry some momentum from Charlotte as we get ready to go green here at Auto Club.
You ready?
I am ready. Let's do this. Round 2 here of eNASCAR Heat Pro League as the green flag is in the air, and it looks like we've got Pennzoil leading the field to green. He'll obtain that lead.
Yeah, this is a racetrack. They're going to be 3, 4, possibly even 5 wide by the end of this one, but right now everybody back to the bottom of the racetrack. Fastest way around so far, but we'll see how long that takes until somebody gets daring.
Yeah, you see Rowdy tuck in behind Pennzoil there, taking that second position from Fast Fed as they tuck single file. Slade worked his way up to 4th so far. It's going to be a matter, you hope people have patience. We saw some carnage at Charlotte, but wow, already making a move to the bottom there. Rowdy challenging Pennzoil for the lead.
Yeah, listening to race control before the race, they were saying they were not going to put up with any taking out or anything like that. No verbal warnings, so drivers were put on alert going into this one, and so far we're clean and green through lap number 1.
Slipping back there a little bit, Pennzoil goes really high in the corner there, losing some of those positions. Look like he might hold on to it, slip back in line as Fast Fed takes position over Pennzoil. Rowdy now leading the field by Fast Fed, Pennzoil, and Slade still holding up that 4th position. Oop, and gets passed there by Kyle for the 5th position, or 4th position.
Yeah, Pennzoil was trying to run the fence like at Kokomo Speedway in a dirt midget car, and that didn't really pay out for him there, but he tucks back in line as Rowdy takes the lead on this lap as we've got some bump drafting. That's another thing, too. You can kind of bump draft with these machines going into each corner. You just don't want to get tagged going about 200 miles an hour into the corner.
And Rowdy holding on to that leading position, but Fast Fed is all over his back bumper, gives him a little bit of a tap here and there as to say, hey, I'm here, but these guys are not being patient. Pennzoil in that 3rd says, hey, I want to get back up the front and regain that lead, gain some points tonight and help Penske, hold on to those top points, but no one seems to have any patience right now. They all want to get that lead, hold on to it, because I feel like being in the front at a racetrack like this and at a race where everyone wants to be, you see a really low move there as they're almost 3 wide for the lead there, but everyone wants to be up front because that's the less place that a wreck might happen here.
It really is. How about Fast Fed getting a big old push to the lead? How about that? Kyle making things happen from 2nd. He'll tuck in and they'll shuffle Rowdy back to 4th. So what a shot going into turn 1 as we've got a new leader, the 32.
You see the gap there that Fast Fed now has over Kyle in that 2nd position, but they are slicing and dicing behind him for positions like 3 through 7 as we see 3 wide multiple places on the racetrack. Fast Fed sitting pretty in front of the field is using the entire racetrack to maintain that lead.
He's making that car about 5 car lengths wide as he goes down to front straightaway. We're 2 by 2 in the back, going from about 6th on back. There's Parker in the middle. We're riding, facing backwards here as a couple cars on the inside. That's the 25. How about that move from Jobs? Jobs was moving his way up through the field on the bottom, but we'll go back to your leader. Starting to pull away here just a little bit.
Kyle's watching Fast Fed, though, setting him up, but he's almost got to drive in his rear view mirror and his side mirrors. Every driver is taking advantage of this entire racetrack right now. No one seems to really have anything at the moment for Fast Fed, but you see Kyle wants to hold on to that 2nd position as Slade's made his way up to the 3rd position and Sloppy Joe runs 4th.
3 wide at the back of the field as a couple cars make some late moves going into the corner. Late, kind of the key word there, but they make it stick, and we're still clean and green as Fast Fed continues to lead. Henry, Virginia, he calls home. And how about this drive so far? We talk about his ability to qualify, and I think right now he's flexing his muscles saying, I can race too.
He also celebrated a birthday, I believe, over the weekend here in Charlotte, so this might be a good little late birthday present for him, getting this win at Auto Club. But we talked about it in the pre-race here. These drivers weren't going to have much patience. Oh, and contact there.
Look out.
You see the bear go around as well as the 13 of Kyle. Contact for a couple drivers involved in this. And the caution will come out with 39 to go. Fast Fed still your leader.
That was a tough break. Pennzoil was involved, your pole sitter who got shuffled toward the back, but Kyle was involved in that as well. We'll have to take a look to see what happened, but it kind of was a chain reaction, and on a speedway like this where cars are kind of tucked in there together, it only takes one mistake and then it all kind of breaks loose here.
Take a look at the replay here of what happened there. Looks like we've got the bear who's trying to make it 3 wide in the middle there. Slade in front of him. Ooh, and it looks like someone might just get a little contact. Arrow loose and collects the field there. Tough break for a lot of those drivers. Still plenty of laps to go to hopefully regain some of those positions, but let's hope the damage is not too much to take a couple of these drivers out of contention.
Yeah, don't forget they've got full damage in there. And while we've got this break here, Zane, let's bring it in from our digital lounge. Zane, how's it going, buddy?
Guys, it's going great. Zane the Bearded One here in the digital lounge, or as the grown-ups call the command center. I'm your pilot. They are my co-pilot on this adventure of eNASCAR Heat Pro League. And right now, this is a redemption race for these guys. 14 drivers on PlayStation had a rough race at Charlotte. They decided, you know what? Let's get together. Let's make a great show. Red actually got spun by Rowdy there. Radio came over. Everyone's apologizing. Hey, man, we got this. Get ready for some crazy racing.
And crazy racing is exactly what we'll see. Thanks, Zane. You see him here after that green flag. We're already back to 3 wide. We talked about it pre-race with these wide sweeping corners and high speeds. There's going to be a lot of action, a lot of passing, and I mean, we haven't seen really any single file action yet, which is exactly what we want at a race like this.
Absolutely. Besides your leader who kind of has been able to control the race, everybody's jockeying for position as here comes Sloppy Joe on the outside for the lead. Got a bit of a run off of corner number 4, and he'll pull up just to about the passenger door there before turn number 1, and he'll go ahead and slide back in. Again, Fast Fed has just been kind of on the money on the bottom, hasn't made many mistakes, and so it's going to take a lot more to get by that 32.
He'll clear Sloppy Joe there, who will lose a little bit of ground there to the bear as the Bear will slide in and take that second position. Ooh, a little bit of a wobble there from the Bear. He was involved in that caution, but has managed to work his way up to the second position already. Started a little bit back farther in the initial lineup, but doesn't seem to be too much damage there on the Bear as we ride along with him. But Sloppy Joe all over the back bumper wants that second position back, and Slade waiting patiently behind him, fighting out with Fluffy for those top 5 positions.
Now, I was going to say that white 21 is creeping ever so closer to this front pack. He's just buying his time as we ride along with Sloppy Joe out of Canton, Georgia. How about this run for him? He's been all over the back of the Bear, and I think those two guys may work together to try to get by probably the best car in the field so far of Fast Fed.
Fast Fed's been in protect mode, but how long can you stay in protect mode? 34 to go in this race for the PlayStation, and I don't know if you can protect for 34 laps, especially when you've got someone like the Bear who definitely wants that position. You see here we ride along with Pennzoil, who has slipped back to the 9th position, but there's battles all the way through this field. Pennzoil initially started on the pole. Tough break early on in the race for him involved in that caution, but seems to be chipping away at making his way back to the front of the field.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like too much damage to that Pennzoil Ford, but we'll have to wait and see if it wreaks any havoc here later on in the race. Right now, the best battle on the racetrack's for 4th position with Rowdy and Fluffy side by side as your leaders now get back to single file racing here, coming to the line. 32 laps to go for the PlayStation drivers.
Here in a couple of laps, we're going to get close to being within that pit window. So you're going to see a couple of these drivers come down pit road, see who's going to take tires and fuel. That'll set us up for some interesting strategies later on and who's going to play into what. We've seen different strategies throughout the initial season, and I think that's going to go into tonight as well. But if Fast Fed can pull off a good strategy, he's got a great race car underneath him. But it seems a lot of these drivers do. You see another challenge here with the 8 of Sloppy Joe underneath the Bear. He wants that second position, and right behind him, Rowdy. Everyone just nose to tail. It seems like we've got a very equally distributed car this weekend. Everyone's got great cars.
Absolutely. If you look at the top 5, all within 0.4 of a second, is look out, some contact there. Rowdy as well as the Bear kind of getting into it. Everybody's clean and green, but that kind of shuffled Sloppy Joe back to 3rd. He may lose 4th or go back to 4th here as Rowdy takes a look on the inside. He's got help on the bottom, but let's take a look at that contact. Looks like a huge run and possibly a little bit of a block there by the Bear.
Could be a block. You get out of that draft though, and it looks like he's got a couple other people helping with the push that could have really played into that shuffle backwards. You also saw Slade get shuffled back at one point. He's managed to pick those positions back up, break back in the top 5. You're going to see Rowdy try and break back in the top 5 as well. I think we're setting ourselves up for something that might come down to a very crazy last couple laps. Everyone seems to be very equal, and they're all being very antsy. They're watching one another as you see, you see the 8 of Sloppy Joe underneath the Bear there, challenging for that second position, nose to tail with the leader of Fast Fed, and the 17 of Fluffy right there with them.
I was going to say, here comes Fluffy in the 17, and I know his gamer tag is Fluffy, but he's not driving any soft here today. He's been moving his way to the front, and now he's trying to get himself in contention as we get close to those green flag, possibly green flag pit stops, as this will be one of those blink first kind of moments for starting up front.
We heard Zane talk about it when he was talking about a lot of these PlayStation drivers looking for redemption. One of those, maybe the Bear. The Bear obviously showed a lot of excitement for Slade getting that win at Charlotte, but the Bear's hungry and he wants that win as well tonight. They're all looking for a win to start their season off in the eNASCAR Heat Pro League. With a win, carry that momentum through the season. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see some of that aggression break out as we ride along here with the Bear from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Josh Harbin there for the Levine Family Racing Team. He'll be competitive to watch all year long. Showed a lot of success, a lot of speed as well in the preseason.
Absolutely. As we continue to watch this battle, and they get oh so close to each other, and you're wondering just how many more times they can do it without some contact. But if you look at what we did in the preseason, 10 races, and you have a guy like Fast Fed who has 10 starts and 7 top 5s. That's consistent.
And you have to be consistent to be in this. We talked about how these points play into, it may not be a win that gets you those overall points. If you can be consistent and your cohort in the other, PlayStation or Xbox can be consistent as well, it could really play into your favor. But we have another battle for the lead here. Oh, as Sloppy Joe takes the lead over Fast Fed. Fluffy will still be in that third position, almost 3 wide here for the front position as Fluffy, a great run there, looks to challenge Sloppy Joe for the lead.
Best run of the day, kind of threw it in there hard, and hopefully it stuck, and it did as the 8 takes the lead away from Fast Fed. Here comes Fluffy on the inside, 2 by 2. He's going to get a little help from the 95 of the Bear. Those are probably your 4 challengers at this point in the race as they've been able to swap positions, but don't look now. Here comes Rowdy there back and forth.
Yeah, Rowdy challenging the Bear for that 4th position. Can't quite make it happen. You look there. Wow, the 32 of Fast Fed all over the back bumper of Sloppy Joe. He's saying, hey, I'm here, but some of that contact and some of that maybe bumping allows Fluffy, contact with the wall for a couple drivers there. Everyone holds on to it. The 8 slips down there, and we are 3 wide once again within the top 5.
Fast Fed regains the lead off the contact from the wall by Sloppy Joe. You wonder also too, Hannah, we talked about the 4 times wear and the full damage as here comes a little takers to pit road, and like you said, first person to blink, and here comes the leaders.
Wow, the handful, almost the entire top 7 trying to beat the competition that will come out later in this race. You see JRM will take that lead now in that number 7 as Fast Fed, Sloppy Joe, the entire field with the exception of JRM in that 7 car comes down pit road.
Bit of a gamble here for JRM, but he says, I don't care. I like clean racetrack, and he thinks his car's still handling a little bit better than maybe the rest of the field. And the local product out of Charlotte is pacing the field right now, and I bet you he's going to come in this time by, and it sounds like he is.
He's right up the street from us. He should have came in here and played. We could have set him up right in the production studio. I don't know, a little chaotic down there, but maybe as chaotic as pit road just was as JRM does come down. That will hand over the lead to another driver here in just a few minutes. But like you said, this could play into his favor. Who knows how these pit stops may shake out? It may be JRM that ends up on top and maybe plays the right pit strategy.
Could have been a gamble that paid off, or could just have him shuffled back through the field. We'll find out momentarily, as it looks like Kyle Arnold will be the guy who, once this shuffles back around JRM, he'll take the lead as we get 1 lap to go until our competition caution. Everybody wanted to beat that, Hannah, because I think they think we maybe can stretch this out and not have to come back to pit road.
Well, stretching it out would be a little bit of a stretch, like you said there. They're going to have to pit again. We look at that pit window being between 11 and 13 laps, and with this being close to, upward of the 2 pit windows, they're going to have to come in again. So not a lot of drivers going to come down during this competition caution. That will hand the lead over to Kyle Arnold over Rowdy, Fast Fed, Nobes, and the Bear. Your top 5 looks like a very similar top 5 to what we've seen almost this entire race.
Pretty much, but I have my eye on SHG. Hot Rod, he was in that 14 machine, was a lap down earlier in this race, back up to 7th, 9 seconds off the lead. As you can tell, the lead is a little bit stretched because of those pit stops, and Kyle Arnold must have had a heck of a pit stop because he's got a 5-second advantage over Rowdy and Fast Fed.
Makes you wonder who took what for tires, because that could be something we see too. Kyle may be taking 2 over 4 tires there as we see the caution come out here for that competition caution.
We'll reset the field as everybody gets a chance to stretch the fingers, and while they do that, we're going to check in with our digital media lounge and Zane, who's got a little strategy note for us. Hey, Zane.
Hey, Chris, how's it going, guys? Up in the booth, down here in the digital lounge. Right now, my eyes are on Kyle Arnold in that 13 car. He was running 12th to 13th before the competition yellow came out. When the pit stops happened, moved himself to first. Competition yellow's out. Watch out for that 13 Chevrolet. Could end up in victory lane before the night's over.
All right, Zane, and what do you think in terms of 4 tires, 2 tires? Do you think some guys maybe took a gamble here?
Not right now. I think everyone's going to take 4 tires fuel just so they can make the runs. Later in the run, you're going to probably see 2 tires and no tires if the cautions come out.
We saw something similar like that play out in a recent race called the Coke 600, the 2 versus the no versus the 4 tires. So something to definitely watch as we are back under green here at Auto Club after that competition caution. You saw it there though. Arnold, the one to watch, Kyle Arnold, as he had a interesting strategy, like Zane had mentioned there. JRM in the lead though still. Slade in the 2nd position over Kyle Arnold in the 3rd position.
Yeah, JRM will rocket out to the lead. How about Slade moving his way up too? He was a top 4 car here, winner last week, and he's now back in 2nd. Going to challenge for the lead on the inside down the back straightaway into turn 3.
We've seen a lot of drivers weeble and wobble and be all over the back bumpers, but Slade has been nothing but consistent. He's been I mean, on top of his game as he takes the lead, puts some gap there between Kyle Arnold in that 13, and will hold the lead for the first time thus far at Auto Club. Could we see a repeat from Charlotte?
I don't know, but we are certainly shaping up to have a great race to the finish with 19 laps to go. Cars fanning out now 2-3 wide a little bit here as that outside line tries to get going a little bit. We didn't see that early on in this race, but everybody's got fresh tires now, so they're going to go for it here.
If you hold that front row and you manage to run the whole track, you really have control over the field behind you until someone gets a little bit of help and someone gets a push. But right now, no one seems to be pushing the other drivers. They're all just trying to get that position over one another, which is creating these 2 and 3 wide situations behind them. But Fast Fed, look who is knocking on the door for the lead. A great run there as he will overpower Slade. Oh, can't quite make that run happen. Slade still will hold the lead, but a challenge right now for the lead.
Too much momentum on the bottom there for Fast Fed, who gets a good run. Still side by side though. Slade keeping his foot in it as now it's going to be 3 wide as the 95 takes a peek to the inside. How about this? The Bear going to grizzly his way on the inside. Oh, but they're going to make contact, and that's going to look out. One car in the wall, that's Slade. He's going to get shuffled back as now your lead changes. So that's the risk of going 3 wide here at Auto Club Speedway.
And that shows right there how quick you can go from first to, ooh, and we've got contact as the 8 goes around at the back of the field. Not sure who else was involved in that there. The Bear will hold the lead as cars behind him went spinning. Got some more contact in the back of the field, and the caution is out.
Sloppy Joe hit the wall there just about near start-finish line. Looked like he got hooked. There was some bouncing back and forth. It might have been the 42 of Parker. We'll take a look at a replay here in a moment. But Sloppy Joe, though, tough break. He was up near the front here just before that competition caution.
You have to give these drivers a lot of credit. We watched those recaps, and you got to watch the race from Charlotte. A lot of beating and banging on the doors, the walls, just about everything you could hit. But these drivers have done an awesome job thus far of creating great 3-wide racing. And you look at the replay there, just bouncing off of each other there. Sloppy Joe goes around, contact with the wall. Don't think he collected any of the other drivers there. But unfortunate break there with only a handful of laps really to go in this race.
On board with Kyle, so as you can see, Slade hit the wall, kind of a chain reaction, and that caused the 42 there up top, got a little bit close and hooked. Oh, there you see the contact. So yeah, he looks like he hooked Sloppy Joe there, bouncing off the wall. So tough break, but still got some time. 15 laps to go here as we take the green flag.
As we take the green flag, like you said, Kyle will lead the field to green. He's got the Bear on the outside of him as they are 2 and 2 and 2. And Kyle Arnold with a great run, though, will hold that lead as the Bear slips back. Everyone did pit under that caution, though, except for Kyle. Zane mentioned it. Interesting pit strategy. Ooh, maybe not working out for him. Contact.
Those old tires
with
will
the
hurt
wall.
you here.
Yeah, slips to the rear end of this field.
Yeah, dropping like a rock. Unfortunate break. Took a gamble not pitting like the rest of the field, but every time, Hannah, 4 tires is going to beat no tires.
No doubt at all, especially with this 2-mile track, real abrasive, high speeds. When you take 4 tires compared to none, we've got a couple drivers going through the grass. Some landscaping here at Auto Club Speedway as the caution comes out, contact for a couple cars.
Didn't see what happened, but unfortunate break there for Kyle, who's got the front end of that Geico Chevy just crumpled like a Coke can. We'll have to look at what happened, but oh man, I told you it's going to start getting dicey here as we're inside 20 to go, now inside 13 laps to go. Here's a look at the replay. On the outside, the 14 right there, it was 3 wide for a split second, and they were wrecking in front, and he just had nowhere to go.
You see a couple of those drivers go through the grass, hard contact with the wall there for Kyle, heavy damage, tough break. Looked like he had maybe a good run shaping out had he made an opportunity to come back into the pits, get some tires later on in the race, as he forfeited going into the pits earlier with that competition caution. So tough break for that driver as we get set to go green once again after that caution.
And we've got a new leader, Voltage, up front for the first time here tonight at Auto Club Speedway. Oh, just kidding. Keffer's back in the lead. That was prior to. So we'll reset things here with Keffer and then SHG Hot Rod. We told you he was a lap down earlier in this race.
The first 2 there did not pit, JRM Keffer and SHG Hot Rod, not pitting under that last caution there, as JRM managed to sneak out to the lead there with having not pitted, it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. Is Voltage in the 20, first time we've really seen him up at the front of the field, makes a great run, a challenge here for the lead, and right behind him, once again, Fast Fed giving him the push, saying, hey, I've been there and I'll take you with me this time. We just got to get to the front.
Yeah, Parker was rim riding the wall back there. He'll drop back to the 14th spot as, again, for your lead, the guy who's been tough to beat all day long, Fast Fed, now biding his time, weaving in and out behind the 20 of Voltage, just letting him know he's there, maybe trying to get in his head a little bit, Intimidator style.
A great run by Sloppy Joe, making it run for the front, but he's got two to fight with there as Voltage has put some great space between him and Fast Fed. It actually looks like he's got a pretty good car underneath him here. Fast Fed, though, with the run, the move on the outside, trying to regain the lead here at Auto Club. Not sure if he can carry that momentum, though, as Voltage sneaks down to the bottom below that white line in the corner, as they've got some serious space between them coming out of the corner.
Voltage searching for grip down there below the white line, but it didn't work as your new leader is back to the front, Fast Fed in the 32, and look out behind them. We've got two cars into the outside wall in turn number 1.
That looked like a little bit of a chain reaction as we see the caution come out here. Looked like maybe we saw some chain reaction, like I'd said, from the Bear, who bounced off someone, which everyone seemed to check up and send a couple cars spinning, but you called it. As we got into the last couple laps here, things were gonna get dicey. These drivers all want to win.
They certainly do, so caution is back out with 8 laps to go, and like they say in the big track, cautions breed cautions, and I think tempers now and patience starting to wean just a little bit as the laps begin to wind down, but some really good racing near the front, and it's good to see guys like Voltage take those risks, and right now he rides in the 2nd spot. Did have the lead, but nevertheless start to pay it off for him as we look here at just what happened. Down the front straightaway. Oh! Yeah, they're 3 wide, almost trying to 4 wide. Oh, and that's just a case of not being clear. And unfortunately for Rowdy, got the worst end of that, and that collected a number of cars. Just tried to go from the high lane. It's almost like going down 77 and going from the outside lane all the way to the inside lane and not really looking.
Yeah, I've seen a couple people do that. Unfortunate takes out some of those white posts. So none of those here to take out as we go back green. This is exactly what Fast Fed wanted to see, was a caution. Gave him that opportunity to get underneath Voltage and gain that lead. A run, though, by Jobs. Where has he been all night? Is now in the top 2 positions, challenging for the lead on the outside of Fast Fed. He will ride the bumper, but can't seem to get a run. The Bear has slipped back to that 7th position, but you see Sloppy Joe and Slade once again in the top 5, making a run for the front.
The cream rising to the top here as we come to the line with 4 laps to go. Jobs, can he make a run on Fast Fed? Can anyone make a run? As we've got 1 car in the grass down the front straightaway. That is your winner from last week's Slade. And, tough break for the young man out of Georgia as he slips to the back, but we go back towards the front, riding along here with Voltage, who slipped from 2nd back to 4th.
Slade, I would not suggest you take your new scooter through the grass, even though you were really good at holding on to your race car. Getting it back on that racing surface will rejoin at the end of the field. You see him there at the back of the pack in that shot, but Fast Fed holding on to that lead. There was a challenge for Jobs at one point, but he slipped a couple car positions back. Can't quite get that run to challenge for the lead. Handful of laps to go right now. All Fast Fed wants is this race to go green. He got that caution that he wanted to position himself under Voltage, get the lead, and check out. And now he's just hoping everyone holds it together. A race, though, for 3rd here. You see Voltage that slipped back to 3rd, and Pennzoil and Sloppy Joe side by side.
That battle for 4th position, as we look back from your leader, the closest battle to him is going to be Nick Jobs, and just about a 1/10 of a second back. So how about this, though? He moved his way up toward the front, and we've got more contact. Hannah, you're just shaking your head. You can't believe it. Oh,
I am. I see these drivers get dicey. Oh, exactly. Like you said, caution's going to breed cautions here. They were all getting dicey for 3rd, 4th, and 5th, but we are going to stay green. Everyone seems to get their race cars back underneath them. So this is a tough break for some of those drivers involved. They're not going to have a chance to really catch back up to the field here. But again, this is the perfect scenario that Fast Fed wants to see, as we've got 2 to go. He's got a pretty good lead here. Doesn't look like anyone really has anything for him. Ooh, and you see here, we ride along with the Bear as he's on the back bumper of Pennzoil, looking to the high side, looking to the low side, can't quite get a run to make it happen as Pennzoil peaks on the outside of Jobs. No one seems to get the run that they need to get to the inside or the outside of the driver in front of them.
Pennzoil may try to work with Jobs to get to the front. Pennzoil, if you remember last week, third place. He's third place today, and he's trying to get a couple more spots as we go white flag. 1 lap to go for Fast Fed. Can he lead this thing back to the checkered flag? And he begins to pull away.
You saw Jobs there really high in the corner, slip back some positions. Not a very good move there as he slips back to 5th, allowing Pennzoil to take that 2nd position. The Bear all over the back bumper, but he's got a challenge for Fluffy for that 3rd position. Fast Fed looking to hold on for the win as Pennzoil tries to dive underneath him. We might see a close call here for the win. All Fast Fed has to do, hold on to it for a couple more seconds. A challenge there, but he will come out of this last corner to hopefully collect this first win in the regular season.
And he does. Checkered flag, Fast Fed your winner, and Pennzoil comes home 2nd. So a 3rd and 2nd for Pennzoil to start the season, but Fast Fed, we talked about it. He can qualify well, but boy, he finally put it together today. Best car on the racetrack, and he picks up round number 2 win at Auto Club Speedway. How about that? And a good run for the Bear, too.
The Bear, yep, crept it back into that top 3 after making a couple trips to the rear of the field here. You look at the race results, Fast Fed, that winner, Pennzoil, 2nd place, the Bear, 4th, Fluffy, and Jobs rounding out your top 5.
We talk about team points, and that's the name of the game going into the playoffs. And how about Penske? They captured last week event win and 2nd place to start off the night. So we'll have to see what they do in the Xbox race.
No doubt about that. A great run for Fast Fed, though, was dominant all night long. Showed speed early on in the race, was able to get up to the front multiple times, and eventually hold on to the win from that late race charge there from Pennzoil.
Tough break, though, for Slade, your last week's winner. Late caution there at the end, and he fell to the back. So, unfortunately, not going to be his day today. But again, this is just round 2, and a lot of these guys now kind of know where they're at.
Fast Fed, your winner here tonight at Auto Club. Congratulations to him. Great way to put together an early season, and we are joined by the winner tonight here at Auto Club in tonight's PlayStation race, Fast Fed. First off, congratulations on your win.
Thank you so much.
Hey, we got to talk about this. I know we talk every week. You qualify really well, but it seems like it just doesn't get put together in the race. What did you do differently, if anything, tonight to get the win and finally get yourself a checkered flag here?
I set the car up to run out front and block the air, man. It's all about the draft at this track, and blocking the lanes really helped.
Now, you had a crazy last couple laps there. Cautions bred cautions, and it seemed to be that it came down to a late race charge from Pennzoil. What was going through your brain those last couple laps as you saw Pennzoil in your rearview mirror coming to the checkered flag?
Oh, yeah, I was loose as hell, to be honest. And,
loose as fast, man.
I was just trying to keep it straight, to be honest, and get back to the checkered flag.
Well, that's exactly what you did. Collected that checkered flag, your first win of the regular season. Are you going to carry that momentum into a short track next week for you guys at Bristol?
I sure hope so. I got a really good go-fast game in Mustang there, and hopefully I can set it on the pole.
Awesome. Well, Bristol 2 weeks away. Again, congratulations on your win tonight, Fast Fed, and good luck in 2 weeks at Bristol.
Thank you, guys.
Holy cow, that was pretty cool.
Xbox, yeah, starting up next, we talked about the action we just saw in PlayStation. If Xbox is anything like this, it'll be very exciting. Track Bar leading the field to green. Outside of him, HD Motorsports, SHG Slick in 3rd, JRM Dohar 4th, and your top 5, Shell V Power, last week's winner, starting in the 5th position, but good chance Penske puts together a great run once again.
They have a shot, and I think, if anything, Shell V Power was watching that PlayStation race just to see what the leaders were doing, especially during pit stops and how they were running the track at different stages of the race. But I gotta tell you, it was pretty cool to listen to Fast Fed just talk about his win and saying, I just set the car up to run out front. It's easy as that, right? Well, wrong, because you and I tried to race, and we both finished 39th and 38th when we tried this game. So it's definitely a lot harder than it looks, but definitely congratulations to Fast Fed as we get set to go for Xbox.
His teammate there, Go Fast Matt, in starting 7th, so an opportunity for them to put together a great run. Would be awesome to see them to get, maybe a win or a good top 3 finish. Could be the overall points win that team needs to maybe get a event win and put themselves in contention for the playoff later in the season. But Penske looking pretty strong with how both their drivers qualified and finished. But again, if PlayStation or Xbox is anything like PlayStation what just was, I'm going to be dancing here in the studio once again. I mean, people, I know you guys can't see me, but I was dancing, had my hands above my head the entire time because I didn't know how this was all going to play out.
No, it was definitely crazy, and I think you hit that competition caution, and then things just kind of snapped, and people changed the way they were driving a little bit, getting a lot more aggressive. But I hope that these guys learn that when you race around each other like that close, that things are going to happen. But you can definitely use the air to your advantage, and you heard Fastvid talk about it. You know, it's all about the air around here, and it's all about setting up guys and taking the air off their spoiler. So, yeah. Well, you know what? We got to talk to Zane because I can't imagine, buddy, that there weren't some pretty hurt feelings, maybe some tempers after that race. A lot of guys hitting the wall there. Zane, what can you tell us about the post-race conversation from that PlayStation group?
Man, I can tell you right now there were some nasty things said, some things that were expletive deleted, maybe a trash can, a cell phone got thrown. But right now, Slade is a gentleman. He said, you know what? I pulled it off to the grass. I saved the wreck. There's guys out there that wanted to race hard, race worse than they should have. Next time, I may not save myself. I may pull it up into the track. Kyle was ready to start a fight in the pit hauler. He's not happy. Right now, he's saying, you know what? This car's junk. We got to take it back to the shop. And we still got to get ready for Bristol. So we don't know if we're going to see him show up just based off that interactions.
Unbelievable. So after this race is over and you're able to listen to these guys talk, how much is it finger pointing and how much is it like where they work together?
You'll have to wonder if any of these drivers are going to get called into the virtual NASCAR hauler based on some of the conversation or the on-track contact there. But you'll also wonder if some of these tempers will flare. The storylines will carry into Bristol. And Bristol, a place of all places to have some of that revenge, a little short track, a little bull ring where one little move, man, could end your night. But also a great race to imply some of that Rubbins racing because short track racing, that's where it's at.
I'm sure we'll see bump and runs galore in 2 weeks, but we've got to finish this one out here at Auto Club Speedway with our Xbox competitors. And if you kind of look at how the exhibition season went, we had 10 races before the regular season started, and kind of the man to beat is Slick with 10 starts, 3 wins, and 8 top 5s. The other gentleman joining him with 3 wins going into the regular season is Dohar, and he finished second last week, so he's definitely got a fast 88, and so we'll kind of take a look at some of those guys throughout the race. But again, this Xbox field definitely has a group that can get aggressive when need be and work their way to the front.
And we got the chance to speak to Diego before the race, obviously, who is used to driving long distances, obviously drove out here to compete, currently still in the Charlotte area, even though he reigns from the California area. That is a long road trip. He'll actually, I believe I talked to him earlier in the week, he's going to make a pit stop at Memphis on the way back. He mentioned he's a photographer for the Bill McAnally Racing Team, Kane and West team, so he'll shoot some photos out in the Memphis area. Cool to get to visit a lot of the short tracks across the country because there are some great ones, and I guess you could call Auto Club Speedway his home track?
I'm assuming you can. Yeah, Fontana, California. I would.
I would claim that home track. So
yeah.
Maybe we see the California boy get a little bit of a home track advantage tonight at Auto Club. Would cool to see the California boy get it done.
I'm sure he would love for that to happen, as well as a guy like Garbage, who last week led in the final moments of that race before a late caution forced overtime. A lot of people were cheering him on social media, kind of giving him a pat on the back, saying, keep your head up, and I'm sure he's got revenge on his mind here tonight at Auto Club Speedway. And also mention a guy like Skirt Busch, our number 1 overall pick. Didn't really have the start of the regular season he wanted. A lot of tempers aimed at him last week. Do you think he can rebound with that Chip Ganassi Racing group?
I think he can. I think there's a lot of potential. He's improved over the preseason. He's got a lot of these drivers trying to help him out. They want to put on a good show at the end of the day for the fans that are all tuning in via Facebook and Twitch. But Zane, lots of excitement going into this Xbox race after what we just saw on PlayStation. You're
absolutely right, Hannah. A lot of action, a lot of remorse and redemption going to happen. But a lot of right now, the chat watching on Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, what they're asking is, hey, what's going on at the start of the race? Why are these guys slow in the start? They run manual pace laps to get started. Race control gives gives a call for green, then these guys go. So what you're going to see here tonight is 2 manual pace laps. Once the pace laps kick off, we're going to go racing. No time, no waste, side by side, 3-4 wide we saw on PlayStation. I think Xbox, these guys are going to get a little rowdy. I watched these guys in practice all week. And I'm telling you, they went 5 wide, 4 wide off the apron, never wrecked once. And they're like, why can't we race like this on race night?
Yeah, and you've got to kind of see the behind the scenes, especially in qualifying and things like that. Do you have a pick here tonight real quick before we go green?
I got to say, I'd like to stay neutral, but I'm watching for the Levine boys, Dohar 88, and then hopefully maybe we'll see a dark horse come out of JGT or Joe Gibbs Racing. Lucky Dog looked good last week.
Awesome. Thanks, Zane, from our digital lounge, and we'll check back in with him over the course of this one. Hannah, we're getting set to go green, and I tell you what, I am excited to see how this race unfolds, as we saw an incredible PlayStation race, and it should be another good one here with the Xbox group. Still one more pace lap to go as they clean up the racetrack from the PlayStation event as we get set to go here in just a few minutes.
You'd ask Zane who his pick was, and I'm pretty sure he actually named about half of the field there in his pick. So we'll narrow it down. Do you have a pick for this race? Because no pressure, but I picked the pick for the PlayStation.
Yes, you did, and I'm pretty sure when we've done this in exhibition rounds, I picked a driver that didn't even show up to race, so I'm doing a real great job at this department. But you know what? I think it all is going to come down to strategy, especially when it came down to those pit stops and positioning yourself up front to make a run at the end. I like Dohar. I really do. I know he starts up front, but he's very methodical in the way he drives, the way he strategizes for the race. And I'd like to see him get up front, and I think he's got the car to do it. But when it comes to being fast, you can't look past Mr. Track Bar, pole sitter, who laid down a blistering lap in qualifying. So I'd say keep an eye on those two drivers here tonight.
I think that's a pretty good pick there. I think they hit it on it there with the Levine family racing boys. That's going to be my pick. I'll go with Go Fast Matt for my pick. Would love to see them get an overall good event put together here at Auto Club. Maybe give Penske a little run for their money early on in the point standings and set us up for some good racing as we get ready to go to Bristol in 2 weeks.
You want to sweep. You want to break out the brooms. Oh, we got some breaking news all of a sudden. We are just getting word. Let's head back down to our digital lounge and Zane. Zane, what do you got for us?
I'm running around like crazy tonight. Right now, Moordog 5 has got a blown virtual engine is the best way to put it. His internet crashed, so he's out for the night. He will not be racing. He's pretty upset. Talked to him a little bit over text message, and he's wanting to redeem himself, but he can't, so watch out for Bristol.
That's such a tough break when it comes down to that, and I know he really wanted to race, especially after last week, a late caution, and he was running toward the front. So unfortunately, Moordog will not be competing here tonight, so 13 cars will take the green flag here in round number 2 as we come off of corner number 4 and get ready to take the green flag.
Best way to put it, a virtual blown motor. I love it, but I hate it for Moordog as they get ready to take the green. Although there's only 13 drivers in the field, Zane said it, we're going to see some great racing action.
All right, green flag is out and we are underway. Xbox drivers here at Auto Club Speedway as they fan out and go into turn number 1. How about the 37 quickly to get through the gears? Track Bar, your pole sitter, and the Scott's machine will pull away just a little bit. How about your battle for second on the outside? How about Slick and HD Motorsports going after it?
I don't know if I can handle as much excitement in this Xbox race as we saw in the PlayStation race, and Zane said we're going to see just as much, if not more, but an early lead here by Track Bar as he tucks out, takes the win. We've got single file behind them, HD second, HD Slick in the 3rd position, but the 95 wants that lead early on. He'll challenge Track Bar for the lead, almost pushing him here.
Yeah, those Levine family racing machines are fast. We saw it in PlayStation, and here they go challenging for the lead with HD Motorsports. Track Bar, though, running a solid and smooth line, trying to keep that momentum, keeping these motors strung out as they go around this racetrack.
Interesting to watch. Ooh, you see him. He's going to almost touch him there, but HD will stay off the back bumper of Track Bar. Says, hey, I'm here. I'm not going to touch you early on with 44 laps to go in this race, but I'm going to try and get a good run here as he sneaks to the bottom. Will challenge the inside here of Track Bar. HD Motorsports looking to gain that lead. They look like they've got a little bit of position there, but you see SHG Slick lurking there in the 3rd position, getting challenged by Dohar for that 3rd position.
It's all about airflow and dragging the air off of the car in front, and that's exactly what the 95 did going down the front stretch. They're still side by side. Now the 95 will back it down just a little bit as he gets caught out of the draft. Look out, here comes SHG Slick in the 14 on the outside, but that's not going to stick as well. So jockeying for position for second. That's the only good news for Track Bar, who says, you guys go ahead and have at it. I'm going to pull away.
there's a lot of teamwork into play right now, not between obviously team drivers, but if you watch here, the 14 is going to hook up on the back bumper here of the 95 of HD Motorsports as we ride along with him, give him a little bit push, ran out of the arrow there, slipped back behind, but we're still 2 and 2 behind the leader of Track Bar. He's sitting comfortable with that lead right now.
Track Bar making his car work left and right, high and low, and right now a big run from HD Motorsports into turn number 3. The gentleman out of Catonsville, Maryland, Nick Vroman, driving that 95, and he's got his lead in his sights, but now it's one thing to catch a driver here, it's another thing to pass him.
The 22 of Shell V Power, last week's winner, all over the back bumper of JRM Dohar, will get past the Bolt for that 5th position. Looks like he's got a pretty good car as he's bobbing and weaving his way to the front. A challenge for the lead, though, is the 95 of HD and Mr. Track Bar have broken away from the pack as they're 3 wide behind him, and he will look to the bottom of Track Bar here to see if he can challenge for the lead.
HD is going to dive it in down on the bottom, touch that white line there at the center of the corner, but once again, the man with the momentum is Track Bar, who's going to hold off HD this lap coming out of turn number 4, going to 40 laps to go, but 3rd place is starting to sneak his way up. That's Slick in the 14 machine as we look going behind Track Bar, back at your 2nd place driver.
You have to wonder if some of these drivers in Xbox talked to maybe their PlayStation teammates and said, hey, saw you had a good run. What did you do to your car? Because 95 here of HD, a great run. We saw the Bear quick, obviously, all throughout the PlayStation race. Believe he gathered it together for a top 3 or 4 run there in the PlayStation race. Definitely a fast car. SHG putting together a good run here in 3rd. Had a tough break the week before for the entire Stewart Haas team, both in PlayStation and Xbox. So Shell V, though, creeping up in that 4th place, looking for another good points night.
I was going to say that 22 is slowly creeping his way toward the front, and he's just about 0.2 of a second behind your leaders. We ride on board the hood, but right now your battle for 2nd place is heating up again, and Slick is not giving up on that inside lane, and it just seems like you can get the car hard in the corner and then not be able to let it stick.
You saw a really great run there by the 22 of Shelby as he tucked underneath all the way to the bottom there of the 14 of SHG. Couldn't quite make it stick. Mr. Track Bar able to take a breath, though, right now as HD has backed off the back bumper a little bit, but won't be but for a lap or 2 before he'll get another great run and try and get back and challenge for the lead.
Driving out of your rearview mirror as we go look at that Shell V. How about this for V-Power in that 22? Penske Racing has got it figured out so far in these first 2 races. Not really aggressive, but they're slowly picking their way up towards the front, and as we ride on board with last week's winner, you know he's going to want to go 2 for 2. We didn't see it done in PlayStation. Could he do it today?
You can see there on the font down below, Brian Tedeschi, last week's winner. He's got something a little bit different to his font, something that maybe these other drivers don't have yet. Up next to their name, that little green checkered flag sticker, the winner sticker, something every one of these drivers wants. They'll get one after they've won a race. So far, the 2nd race in, Brian Tedeschi, Shell V Power, the only driver in this field with that winner sticker.
Single file 1, 2, 3, and 4 as we go above the racetrack, high above Auto Club Speedway, and take a look at how these cars are running the racetrack around here. And right now, pretty clean as we approach 36 laps to go. Hannah, we saw that those pit stops happened just before the competition caution around lap 20, or with 29 laps to go, so it'll be interesting to see as we creep up here what happens. But right now they're fanning down in the back part of the field. That's Garbage on the outside in the 16. Or excuse me, that's Casey. So Casey working his way around the back, trying to get in front of the 3 of J-Mac Attack.
A challenge here for the lead. HD made that jump to the outside to try and challenge Track Bar. Can't quite get the run. Getting a little bit of a push there from SHG. Can't make it happen. He will tuck back behind him. But now it's a challenge between SHG and HD for that 2nd spot. Ooh, SHG losing the momentum a little bit, slips back as Shell V looks to take that as they fan out. Ooh, and we see some people duck down pit road.
Oh, your leader spins going to the pits, the 37. Oh, a heartbreaking move as he comes down pit road. Not sure if it was a late decision or he got on the binders real hard, and so unfortunate move there as a few cars toward the back go down pit road. But your new leader, Shell V-Power, as the damaged race car, the 37. Heartbreak for Track Bar here as he goes down pit road.
Interesting pit strategy here too as well. You see everyone getting ready on the replay there, go down. Ooh, heavy contact there by the 37. Looks like he almost, just like you said, lost it. Got on the binders real hard and couldn't quite get that vehicle slowed down. Ooh, misses pit road entrance almost there and just right for the wall. So unfortunate break for track bar there. But in that round there, we saw a handful of drivers pit, including HD Motorsports, Casey, Kerr, and Diego. But in the PlayStation game, we saw almost the entire field pit but one. So weird to see how this field split up almost half and half between two pit strategies. Could set us up for something interesting later in the race.
That may bunch up the field as we get toward the waning stages of this race. Just by the way, half the field nearly pitted and half didn't. But right now, the man up front, JRM Dohar, he had second place last week. He was right on the tail bumper as he comes down pit road to get 4 tires and fuel on that 88 machine. But yeah, another guy to watch. But as we'll start to cycle things through here as pit stops continue at Auto Club Speedway.
Cool to see that sponsor there, Filter Time, on that number 88. Former driver Blake Cook in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, owner of that, also partnered up with the boss man of Dale Earnhardt Jr. So cool to see drivers on the sponsorship of that car. But interesting pit strategy there. He'll come down pit road as we reset here. You look there and you see the 95 up front leading. This is what he wanted. He needed to get up front and get that speed, get that space between him and other drivers, and it looks like he's fast.
Caught a break with track bar hitting the wall going to pit road, so that's why he's got a comfortable lead right now as things start to shake their way through after pit stops. So we're going to go ahead and take this moment to figure out what in the world happened to track bar entering pit road, and the man that'll give us that answer is Zane in our digital lounge. Zane, what do you got for us?
Guys, I got track bar here with me. Track bar, you got a copy good, buddy?
Yeah, it's in for.
Hey, man, what happened on that pit stop there?
I have no idea. I lit off super early, and the car just broke traction, and I tapped the brake just a little bit to try to slow it down, and it just carried on to the inside wall. I couldn't really do anything there. I really am clueless right now.
Gotcha. So you said you locked them up, you lifted, the car just locked up and went sideways on you, man?
Yeah, like I said, no idea. That car's super fast. Hopefully we can get back to the front. The Scott 1000 Chevrolet would look pretty damn good out front, if I'd say so.
Hey, man, you're running 13th right now. You still got a long race to go. Good luck to you, and hopefully you'll be in victory lane, but hopefully you see that Scott's. We'll clean up that car a little bit for you.
All right, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Zane. I appreciate it. And yeah, you heard it, a disappointing sound to his voice, and it would be tough to get back to the front. But if anybody's going to do it, he's going to do it. Last week in Charlotte, 11th to 3rd after a early wreck. So don't give up on track bar just yet. 32 laps still left to go here.
Riding along with your current leader, HD Motorsports, was fast early on, has now gained that lead through those pit stops. And look at that second place runner right now. The Bolt in the number 18, challenging with the 13 of Jacob Kerr. They've broken away from the rest of the field. Shelby runs by himself back there in his own little pack in the 4th place. But a challenge here from the Bolt, who kind of came out of nowhere to challenge for the lead.
Pretty good pit stop for those 18 crew guys on pit road as he starts to work his way to the front. The Bolt had an interesting run last week, kind of a little bit toward the front, then he kind of faded late in the race, and right now he's doing a great job in second position, just about a 10th of a second behind HD as he creeps ever so closely. That's your close battle for the lead. Everybody else pretty much fanned out towards the back of the field as here comes 3rd place, Jacob Kerr, moving that 13 machine for Germain Gaming all the way to the front. He also, too, coming from the back. So interesting to see some of these guys who started toward the rear starting to work their way to the front here with 30 to go.
HD has had a pretty good lead, but looks like the Bolt will try and make a run here for him on the lead. Single file with the top 3, waiting for the other one to slip up, but none of them are seeming to do it. All very consistent and strong in their lines as the 18 tries the outside. Can't quite make it happen as they run a little bit higher than HD Motorsports. We said it earlier, if you have the lead, you seem to control the field behind you until someone gets a good run, and that is exactly what HD does. We ride along here with Shelby Power, last week's winner at Charlotte. Again, he can see the leaders, but he's not quite there to contend for a position as he runs in that 4th spot.
Yeah, the Bolt wanted Jacob Kerr to give him a little bit of a push going down into turn number 1. Didn't quite happen, so we had to pull back in line, but that's okay because these top 3 are pulling away here just a little bit. Shelby Power moving just ever so slightly toward the front, knocking off maybe about a tenth every 2 laps or so, but he's still 1.8 seconds behind as, once again, a little look from Jacob Kerr going into turn number 1. No harm, no foul here as, again, they're single file just trying to work together so they can settle it amongst themselves at the end.
You have to imagine that the dynamic is a little bit different. These drivers all, like you said, back to their original homes, getting to race and not within feet of each other on a stage. So they definitely have to be a little bit more aggressive because the other driver isn't exactly a couple feet away. But new leader as the Bolt has taken the lead from Jacob Kerr. HD Motorsports slipped back to that 3rd position, and the Bolt will put some position or some distance between him and Jacob Kerr in the 2nd spot.
Yeah, good move for the lead there as we were riding on board a little ways back with SHG Slick, but yeah, the Bolt moving his way to the front. Some laps led here at Auto Club Speedway. They're starting to click down inside 27 laps to go. Jacob Kerr back to 2nd. HD went from 1st to 3rd on that exchange, but he's back in line now as they work their way to turn number 3 and 4.
Cool, calm, and collected the Bolt currently is, as everyone seems to ride single file behind him. No pressure at the current moment by Jacob Kerr, as he's got about, I would say, 10 to 12 car lengths between him and Jacob Kerr for that 2nd spot. People kind of dicing back as the challenge starts to heat up for that 3rd spot. Shelby Power has made his way up to 3rd, past HD. HD is slipping back. You have to wonder if something's going on with that race car or if he's just overdriven it too early in the race.
Yeah, HD was very high down the front straightaway, let Dohar past as well as Shelby Power, so not sure what's going on with that 95. We'll keep an eye on it as he's in 5th, now about 2 seconds back. But here's a side-by-side battle with the 6 of Garbage. We haven't talked much about him today on the inside of SHG Slick, and those two are side-by-side as we go back to the front.
The leader with some distance here, riding comfortably over the lead, the Bolt for Joe Gibbs Racing. It's been cool to see these teams really take on the whole gaming. They've created the social media profiles. They really invited these drivers in to create their eNASCAR Heat Pro League teams, and it's been cool to see NASCAR fans really jump on board and support these drivers as now drivers of these teams.
All right, Zane, what do you got for us, buddy?
Guys, I just got done hearing HD over his radio talking to his crew chief and spotter. They're saying right now, save fuel, save fuel. Try to save to the competition yellow. Do not go in ahead of time. Wait for that competition yellow. Right now we're hearing from race control, 1 lap till competition yellow. Can he hold on until that competition yellow comes out? We're going to have to wait and see.
Definitely an interesting storyline to watch there. We saw in the PlayStation game, they all came down before that competition yellow to try a different strategy, so it'll be interesting to see how HD plays out here. Hopefully can hold on and make it to that competition caution with just a lap or 2 to go before that comes out.
Yeah, it's very interesting as here we look at some cars ducking onto pit lane just before. That's Casey, Jacob Kerr, Diego, all of those guys running 10th, 11th, and 12th. Trying to make a late pit stop here before to try to gain some track position as we ride along with Dohar out of Junior Motorsports, and we got the caution now. So there's your competition caution as those 3 drivers exit pit lane. Now we'll see if we have any other takers for this one round of pit stops, but the Bolt, he was wearing those green driving gloves that made him, he looked like Kyle Busch out there wearing those Alpine Stars driving gloves. Pretty cool to see these guys get into it, but takes the lead here at the competition caution as we will reset the field here momentarily.
You heard Zane say it there. They're calling it real close on fuel mileage here to wait for that competition caution, so wouldn't be surprised to see quite a few of these drivers come down pit road. Could be a question of whether they take 2 or 4 tires to ride out the remaining laps of this race, but HD Motorsports is a guaranteed down pit road for that competition caution, as we overheard on their driver radio. But let's go down to Zane here with some more insight on what's going on with these drivers.
Guys, we're about to go green flag racing, but I got a special guest on radio. Dohar, you got a copy? Dohar, did you leave me, buddy? It looks like Dohar left me, so we'll have to come back to me later.
All good. He's focused on as we are green flag racing.
He's got some work to do right now.
I don't blame him. Multitasking definitely not my strong suit. So we'll let him focus on racing as Casey takes the lead in that 16. Unfortunate break for his teammate Slade in the PlayStation race, but out front is Casey in that 16. Jacob Kerr on the outside, back up front for Jacob in the 2nd position as they race side by side for the lead. Dicey in the top 5.
Contact there, and that pushes Casey to the outside. He'll lose 1, 2, 3, possibly 4 positions as here comes Jacob Kerr. Use that air off the left rear quarter panel and slingshotted his way after a little contact with the bolt. So how about that? As here's a look at that replay. Kerr to the inside, bounced off a little bit, using that air, trying to suck around Casey. He does, but then they touch, and Casey gets loose. Back end hangs around, and he drops a little bit through the field. So that's just some close, hard racing here with 19 laps to go.
Yeah, Casey slipped back real quick there. You have to wonder what he maybe did on that pit stop there, because not only did he get out of the draft, he slipped back as if he maybe took less tires. So could be an interesting strategy to check in on there, see what they did. But Jacob Kerr, your current leader, has checked out a little bit. Shelby Power worked his way into the top 2. Strong run once again for Penske in that second position, challenging with the Bolt. We've got a battle once again for the lead with Shelby Power and Jacob Kerr.
One car into the wall at the back of the field, but we'll keep it here, as on the inside is last week's winner, Shelby Power, off of turn 2, takes the lead and clears Jacob Kerr. And I think it's garbage time, Hannah, because here comes Garbage back to 4th position, started near the rear of the field, so keep an eye on that orange number 6, but right now it's all about the 22 Penske out of, how about that, Shelby Power to the lead, 0.2 of a second now. Garbage up to 2nd from 4th, and he's on a charge.
Riding along here with Garbage, he is reeling in Shelby Power. A great run there. You saw him almost to the back bumper here of Shelby Power. Riding along with that's Garbage, trying the outside here. You look at Shelby Power though in the back view here. The first one's always the hardest to get, and once you get the first one, they all come a little bit easier after that. And so that's exactly the motivation that Shelby Power has here. But that's Garbage is not going to make it easy for him tonight at Auto Club.
No, and he started dead last, shotgun on the field after not qualifying for this event. So from worst to first, or second, almost to first, as he's going to have a nice run down the front straightaway at Shelby Power, who's going to try to do everything he can. We've seen a lot of blocking, especially in the last race down inside 10, 15 laps to go. So it's about that time to start figuring out what you got and flexing those muscles here just a little bit.
The entire field, you can see it pretty bunched up here. You got about 1st through 6th or 7th here, all racing for position. You see here, that's Garbage. He's got Dohar all over the back bumper of him. No one's gonna make it easy here. So far though, everyone's been clean. We saw a couple cautions come out around this time in the PlayStation game, which bred more cautions, but so far everyone's kept it clean, minimal contact, but I think things are getting about ready to spice up. Ooh, as we got a challenge here for the lead. That's Garbage making a great run with a push from Dohar behind him.
Garbage has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars on that outside lane trying to slingshot their way and leave the 22 high and dry on the low side. But wow, look at the power of Shelby Power. Off of the bottom, able to make it stick with 4 cars on the outside, and here comes Mr. Track Bar. Said he had a fast race car after the spin earlier. He hit the wall down pit lane, and he's back in the top 5, and he wants the lead, as here comes your top 4 side by side at the start-finish line. 14 laps to go.
2 by 2, your front row here. Shelby Power still holding the lead. A push though by JRM Dohar with, wow, that's Garbage. Makes you, ooh, you've got a challenge here almost for 4th and 5th. They all want a piece of it right now. You hope though everyone seems to keep their race car underneath them, because right now the last thing you want is a caution to come out for some of these drivers.
1 lap car they're about to approach here is circling down the rear of the field. That's Go Fast Matt, who's a lap down after a late pit stop. And they're going to run them down real quick here, but they're 2 by 2, as once again the 22's got a little bit of an advantage off the bottom. Track Bar behind him. Meanwhile on the outside, Garbage, and then the 88 of Dohar. That's your top 4. Make that 6 now, 2 by 2 by 2, as they go off into turn number 1 at just about 200 miles an hour.
You see on the left-hand side here, Shelby Power and wow, that's Garbage continually swap back and forth that lead position, but Shelby Power overpowers them. Will slide up in front of wow, that's Garbage to hold on to that lead, but as we creep up on that lap traffic, I think that's going to play in an interesting factor here, as these drivers are going to watch him and try and set him up to get past him the quickest way they possibly can.
Yeah, you saw them kind of go back single file there for a second. I think they're going to try to link up and get by so they can continue to battle for the lead. 13, now 12 laps to go here at Auto Club Speedway, as your top 4, 5, 6, 7 put a blanket over them. They've distanced themselves back after the Bolt to 8th of HD Motorsports, who's a little over a second back.
the Bolt will carry up the tail end of this group that's battling all for the front positions here. In the 7th position, Jacob Kerr also pushing. You get a little bit farther back here. Some dicey moves here with Mr. Track Bar. He said he had a fast car, and he's ready to prove it as he's all over the back bumper of Dohar, who's going to try and make a run on Wow That's Garbage. Shelby Power hoping that That's Garbage gets some pressure from the drivers behind him, because he wants him to start driving in his rear view mirror to protect that 2nd position while he checks out and puts some cushion on that lead.
2 Fords versus a Chevy here into turn number 1. As we look high above Auto Club Speedways, you can see just the closing rate these guys have and just how close these guys are racing here at Auto Club Speedway. Garbage again gets a big old run off at turn 2. He's going to put the bumper to the rear bumper, the 22 of Shell V-Power. I think right now just going to help him get by the lap traffic here of Go Fast Matt. They're all going to go to the bottom. We'll see what happens. Is Go Fast Matt going to race him or let him go?
I think he's going to race him. He wants to stay on that lead lap with the potential that something happens. He can get back on the lead lap. Go Faster, Casey. There's a couple drivers actually a lap down, including Diego, Casey, tough break. But you see how dominant here Shell V is. And wow, Go Fast Matt putting up a battle to stay on that lap. Only 1 lap down, doesn't want to go a 2nd lap down. That'll push Shell V back into the grasp of That's Garbage. As wow, they're really going to play this lap car into the race or the battle for the lead.
Yeah, I don't think the 22 took very kindly to getting raced very hard like that. We'll see how long his patience lasts, because here comes Garbage to the outside. He's going to have the momentum this time. Move the Oscar Mayer machine of Garbage as we've got pit stops now with 10 laps to go. Your leaders into the pit lane. Late pit stops.
JRM Dohar, the only one in that group of leaders that's going to stay out. Interesting strategy there as the rest of them come down pit road, including Track Bar, Shell V, the Bolt, Jacob Kerr, and SHG Slick. Just a handful of those drivers handing that lead, like I said, over to JRM Dohar.
He must have been saving fuel, or he's got an extra couple nickels in the tank here, because we'll see if this pays off. The gentleman out of Vermilion, Ohio is on the loud pedal here, leading this race as everyone in the top 10 except him pull down pit road. We'll see as, oh, here we go. So JRM will decide to pit 1 lap later. We'll see how this shakes out here at the end. Not sure if he was supposed to pit with the leaders or if he decided to go 1 extra lap, but that's going to cycle everybody back through. All your lead lap cars now have pitted.
You see here that will hand the lead over to the Bolt. We saw him earlier on in the race, was strong, slipped back, but still managed to be within the top 5. So being in the lead now, putting some cushion between him and Shell V. But I have a feeling that Shell V Power and That's Garbage are going to get to that back bumper. We're going to see a great battle shape up between the top 3 as we've got 8 to go.
Shell V trying to run him down as, 8 laps to go. And right now it's a little bit, looks like about 10 car lengths, maybe 12 back to 2nd. So the Bolt just trying to hang on now. Everybody's made a pit stop. It is full go. Crew chief's telling them, run it hard till the end of the race. And right now everybody's doing a good job trying to get around those cars pulling out of pit lane. And let's send it back down to Zane. Zane, what are you hearing about all those pit stops? Anybody do anything different?
It is going insane right now over the radio on that pit stop, guys. Right now, Track Bar is asking 2 or 4, 2 or 4. I don't know what he took, what came over the radio, but him, Garbage, and Slick are lining up nose to tail to catch the front. They're going to try to run around this leader.
That's exactly what they might need to. We talked about some teamwork, and if they can push themselves to the point of Shell V, they can all link up and catch up with Bolt, who's got a pretty good cushion between him and Shell V, and then another cushion between them and the top 5 there. If they can link up, I think it's going to come down to, I don't know if they're going to have anything for the Bolt, or I mean if the Bolt's going to have anything for those top 3 linked up.
We'll have to wait and see if somebody's going to link up together and be teammates here for a few laps. 7 laps to go now. Bolt still leading 0.3 of a second over Shell V-Power and Garbage. Track Bar, who we just heard from Zane, wasn't sure what to take on pit road, still holding inside the top 5 at 4th, but he's almost a second back. So these guys now just trying to work together to catch the 18, but I don't know if they're gonna have enough time. Maybe Shell will, as he's riding right in the tire tracks of the 18 as they go down to turn number 1 with 6 laps to go.
It looks like Shell V has made more ground on catching the Bolt than the rest of the pack has made on catching him, and that could be the setup that he exactly wants. Get up there and get past the Bolt and let the rest of the field deal with the Bolt while he checks out to go on to get another win here. So you can see as we ride along here with Shell V reeling in, making some ground here on the Bolt, almost to the back bumper of him here in the corner.
Here comes the pack, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, led by Garbage is closing. Folks, we may have a 5-car battle for the lead when this is all said and done, but right now Shell has got the run down the front straightaway, pulling up right to that Interstate logo on the back bumper of the 18. They're going to still stay single file, but now look at the inside. Here comes Garbage to 2nd place. He's going to be side by side with Shell.
There's that push that we knew was going to happen. Mr. Track Bar pushed that's Garbage up within the grasps of the lead. Ooh, he'll lose a little bit of momentum and slip back as Mr. Track Bar says, hey, all right, my turn to take a crack at it. And so he will challenge us. We are side by side for the lead. Shell V Power taking that position over the Bolt.
Last week's winner trying to go 2 for 2 as Garbage back there in 3rd says, who wants hot dogs? Oscar Mayer Leaf Wieners on this car. He's moving his way up now, all the way to 2nd, challenging here side by side with the Bolt.
He's got a great car, that's Garbage does. Ooh, they're getting a little dicey there as Mr. Track Bar was stuck for a moment there in a 3-wide situation. They're 3-wide once again for the 2nd. Can these drivers hold on to these race cars while still being aggressive and challenge for that lead? As that's Garbage will go low to challenge Shelby once again for the lead as they are side by side.
Boy, he threw that car in so deep out on the white line, let it stick, and he's got the run off the corner, trying to get away from Shell V Power to keep that Ford Mustang ripped open as, oh, they touch. Your leaders touch side by side, and then 22's in the wall with Volt. Trouble at the front. Garbage gets into your leader. Now we've got cars spinning. Caution is out. Oh, my goodness gracious, Hannah. Did I tell you if you get that close for that long, something's going to happen? Oh.
And with 3 to go, wow, that's Garbage will obtain the lead. More heavy damage for Track Bar. He just cannot catch a break. As we take a look here at the replay, we talked about it. They were getting dicey 2 by 2 for the lead here. Some contact, yep, contact between Shell V and that's Garbage, which sends him into the Bolt, and around they all go.
We're going to have to get Zane on the radio with those drivers because I bet you that 22 is not a happy camper. Challenging for the lead. Looks like just a little bit of a wiggle from the 6, and that sets off a chain reaction.
Unfortunate break there.
Oh.
Only 3 laps to go. Heavy damage once again you see there on Track Bar. Wow, that's Garbage. Has put himself in a pretty good little position here with 3 to go. Still under caution, but caution's breed cautions. We saw it. Do you think we can go these last 3 laps?
I don't know. Hold your breath, folks. Maybe pull those belts a little bit tighter if you're watching at home, because this is going to be nuts. Here goes Garbage to the lead now once again as we restart with 2 to go. It's going to be a sprint to the finish as Bolt is right on his rear bumper now into turn number 1 and 2, followed by Shell, who is working his way back up now to 3rd, it looks like, but now they're fanned out all down the back straightaway. Look out. This is crazy.
Everyone weebling, wobbling there, slicing and dicing. Oh, about some contacts. People going across the front of each other's nose. All bets are off with 2 laps to go. But wow, that's Garbage sitting in front of the field by himself at the current moment. The battle shaping up for 2nd with JRM Dohar and the Bolt.
Yeah, he's saying, go ahead, boys, race. We got 1 in the grass, couple contact. We still stay green as 1 hits the wall. White flag is out for Garbage. Can he take those hot dogs to victory lane? We are 3 wide back for 4th. I'm sorry, he's running the Oscar Mayer Wiener car at Fontana, and this is awesome. Garbage to the lead. Dohar, as we're wrecking back in the field, that looks like Shell V Power. Bolt hits the wall. We're still green as we come down to turn 3 and 4. 2 corners to go.
HD Motorsports, we haven't heard from him in a while, but he is back there in the 3rd spot, looking to pass JRM Dohar for the win. Right now, that's exactly what that's Garbage wants, as he is coming to the checkered flag.
From worst to first, give the win to Garbage at Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, the drive of his life. Back to the front. How about that? Your winner. Oh man, we told you last week at Charlotte he was oh so close before a late wreck. Well, this time he held off the best to get the victory here at Auto Club Speedway. Hannah, what'd you think of that?
Well, it was no
I'm hungry
easy
for a
feat.
hot dog now because he made me want to get one.
It was no easy feat for that's Garbage as he collected that win. Definitely a challenge though, as JRM Dohar wanted it just as bad. HD Motorsports obviously fast early on in the race. Tough break for Mr. Track Bar. Was quick early on. Involved in 2 heavy wrecks though. 6th place finish. And Shell V Power, after a win last week at Charlotte, will come home in 7th. We'll have to see how that shakes out the points-wise at the end of tonight.
Roush Fenway Gaming gets the win. Oh my goodness, and we've got the winner on the line with us, Garbage. What a drive for you, my friend. Your victory here at Auto Club Speedway in round number 2, and it is pretty incredible. So here he is, folks, Garbage, and I've got to ask you first of all, buddy, you came away with the win, but some late race contact there for the lead. Give us your perspective of what happened. Garbage, are you there with us, my friend?
Garbage.
Hey, buddy, we just want to congratulate you on the big win here at Auto Club Speedway. Got to ask you, though, that late race contact. Give us your perspective of what happened and how you got to hold off the field there at the end. All right, we're still going to try to dial him up here for a little bit, but hey, anyway, Hannah, you gotta be impressed with the guy who can go from the back of the field to the front through all his pit stops, through all his cautions, and get it done and pick up the big check today.
And patience was a virtue in tonight's race. We saw contact a lot in the front of the field. Definitely shook things up. Unfortunate break for a couple of those drivers, but they'll have a lot of time to rebound throughout the season, help collect those collective points for each of their teams, but it's got to boost your confidence, especially for a win like that. It wasn't an easy one for Garbage, but it's going to set him up for a short track, which will be interesting to see how that all translates, but overdue. We talked about it all preseason for Garbage. He almost got it done a couple of times when we were on the mic.
Yep.
He did it. Finally.
Finally. I bet you that's what he was saying too, is finally. Oh my goodness gracious. All right, so if you're wondering about those championship points, now that we had a Roush Fenway Gaming driver win here in Xbox, let's take a look at your point standings updated as they run following round number 2 here in California. So unofficially, folks, Team Penske will take the overall lead as they won last week with 151 points, but how about that? Just 6 points back is Levine Family Gaming and JR Motorsports sneaking up there in the 3rd spot because of a good run by Dohar.
Yeah, we saw Levine get that, obviously, that win in the first race. Good run there for the second race as well. So, interesting points dynamics. Obviously, these individual wins are important to the drivers. Everyone likes to see it, but it also is very heavily dependent on how your teammate finishes in whether it's the Xbox or the PlayStation. So a lot of teamwork goes into this. The next race, though, we're going short track racing as it is Bristol, baby.
Giddy up. I cannot wait to see these cars handle Thunder Valley, and it'll be in 2 weeks' time, Wednesday, June 12th, right here at 7:30. We will be on for all the action. We're going to get to talk to more drivers and really crank this season going, because this will be our first chance to look at how these guys handle each other and all those rivalries on a short track this time.
I think a lot of tempers are flaring. Roush Fenway, though, just announced, won the overall event, collecting the total points. Great finishes by both their drivers. Obviously, that win for That's Garbage. So once again, congratulations to him and Roush Fenway for the event win tonight at Auto Club Speedway. But be sure to join us again in 2 weeks as we go short track racing at Bristol, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Facebook, on Twitch. Exciting night. Overall, great round 2. Season's off to a great start.
Yeah, if you were to pick one word to describe how these first 2 rounds have went, you can't say anything else but exciting or thrilling or exhilarating or whatever synonym you want to use for that. But as you take a look at it here, a little recap of the afternoon or the evening, it's been just absolutely crazy. We hope you've enjoyed it. And if you're just getting involved with the whole eNASCAR scene, we hope you stick around, because this racing is incredible, and we hope that you come back in 2 weeks' time for Bristol Motor Speedway. So a great night for everyone. For Hannah Newhouse, I'm Chris Wilner. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you June 12th from Bristol.